El caso Elon Musk. Para Larry Page, Elon Musk tiene una mente privilegiada. Va a cambiar el futuro de la humanidad. Yo le donaría toda mi fortuna. Larry Page, CEO y fundador de Google. Desde hace tiempo, me he dedicado a escribir sobre los emprendedores más exitosos del mundo. Creo que conocer sus historias nos sirve a todos. Son lecciones de vida que, aplicadas en nuestro desarrollo profesional, seguramente nos darán una visión distinta de los negocios. Podremos, con sus ejemplos, valorar su esfuerzo y trabajo para llegar al éxito a tan temprana edad. Casi todos los emprendedores exitosos que figuran en la lista de multimillonarios en la actualidad, han generado sus fortunas a través o por medio del Internet, creando sistemas operativos, computadoras, smartphones, tiendas online, etc. Y Elon Musk no es la excepción. Sufría bullying. Era un niño tímido que leía libros de ciencia ficción y que no conectaba con el resto. Hubo días que recibió palizas de sus compañeros. Incluso acabó en el hospital. Elon Musk es un inventor, físico y empresario sudafricano de 50 años de edad. Es más conocido por ser el cofundador de PayPal, comprado por eBay, Tesla Motors, SpaceX, Hyperloop y OpenAI. Según su biografía, sus padres y sus médicos llegaron a pensar que era sordo porque cuando se concentraba no respondía. Se mete en su cerebro y solo ves que está en otro mundo, aseguraba su madre. Él mismo se declaró adicto al trabajo, reconociendo que podía emplear en ello unas 100 horas semanales. O sea, 14 horas diarias en 7 días a la semana. Además de fundar PayPal, Elon Musk fabrica coches eléctricos. Envía suministros con sus cohetes privados a la Estación Espacial Internacional. Alimenta ciudades con energía solar y entre sus proyectos están un tren magnético que viaja a 1200 km por hora, la puesta en órbita de 700 satélites para llevar Internet a todo el mundo, o el bombardeo de Marte para hacerlo habitable. Para muchos, Elon Musk es el sucesor de Steve Jobs. No porque vaya a inventar el próximo iPhone, sino por sus ideas innovadoras que tienen la capacidad de cambiar el mundo. Para otros, es el verdadero Iron Man, un filántropo multimillonario que está cambiando la tecnología y el transporte para hacer del mundo un lugar mejor. Jon Favreau, director de las películas de Iron Man, ha reconocido que el personaje de Tony Stark, interpretado por Robert Downey Jr., está inspirado en el propio Elon Musk. Algunas escenas de Iron Man 2 están rodadas en las instalaciones de SpaceX, la empresa aeroespacial de Musk, y él mismo aparece haciendo un pequeño cameo en la película. Podemos permanecer en la Tierra esperando una extinción final o convertirnos en una especie multiplanetaria. Elon Musk. Su meta no es que un astronauta ponga el pie en Marte, es que pueda establecerse allí una colonia de, al menos, 1 millón de personas. Es probable que él no lo vea porque, según los plazos que maneja, la creación de esta sociedad autosuficiente llevaría entre 40 y 100 años. Pero él tiene 50 años. Ya ha dejado claro cuáles son sus intenciones. Me gustaría morir en Marte, pero no en el impacto.
That so many people who are unbelievably brilliant at engineering or are incredibly good managers or bold business people, or what have you, what is it that you have, do you think, that enables you to make this stuff happen?
Well, I first of all, I certainly don't think I can, do anything or do most things that people think are impossible. Because I think a lot of people, what people think is impossible is actually impossible. So, but, occasionally it's not. Yeah. I guess it's. I think I've said those before. I think it's helpful to have kind of a physics framework for looking at things. First principles analysis, look for negative feedback, and like really believe in what you're doing, but not just from a blind faith standpoint. To have really thought about it and say, okay, this is true. I'm convinced it's true, and I try to every angle to figure out if it's untrue, and sort negative feedback to figure out maybe if I'm maybe wrong. But then after all that, it still seems like this is the right way to go. Then that I think gives one a fundamental conviction and an ability to convey that conviction to others and influence them to join. And that's what a company is. It's a group of people who come together to create a product of some kind. And so if you can convey that and answer the concerns that people have, convince them that this is something that needs to be done, important, and here is a path to do it, even if that path has a lot of danger associated with it, risk, and maybe it won't succeed. But people can understand, okay, this is why it's important, and even if the odds are that it won't succeed, it's worth trying to do it. Then I think you can create a great company. And just being really rigorous in making that assessment. Because people tend to, a natural human tendency is wishful thinking. So a challenge for entrepreneurs is to say, well, what's the difference between really believing in your ideals and sticking to them versus pursuing some unrealistic dream that doesn't actually happen? And that is a really difficult thing to tell you. Can you tell the difference between those two things? So you need to be sort of very rigorous in self-analysis. I think certainly extremely tenacious and just work like hell. I mean, you just have to put in 80-hour, 100-hour weeks every week. And all those things include the odds of success. I mean, if other people are putting in 40-hour work weeks and you're putting in 100-hour work weeks, then even if you're doing the same thing, you know that in 1 year you will achieve what they achieve. You will achieve in 4 months what it takes them in years.
It's also important to reason from good principles rather than finality. The whole way we conduct our lives is we're doing this because it's like something else that was done, or it's like what other people are doing. Easy to have ideas. Yeah, slight iterations on a theme, and it's kind of mentally easier to reason finality rather than first principles. But first principles is that's the way they've been in the past. You're like, well, no, that's pretty dumb, because if you applied that reasoning to anything new, then you wouldn't be able to ever get to that new thing. Right. It's like you can't say, horses. Nobody wants a car because horses are great and we're used to them and they can eat grass and there's lots of grass all over the place and there's not like there's no gasoline that people can buy, so people are never gonna get cars. Right. People did say that. And for batteries, they would say, it's going to cost. Historically it's cost $600 per kilowatt hour. And so it's not going to be much better than that in the future. And you say, no, okay, well, what are the batteries made of? So first principles would be to say, okay, what are the material constituents of the batteries? What is the spot market value of the material constituents? So you can say, okay, it's got cobalt, nickel, aluminum, carbon, and some polymers for separation, and a steel can. So break that down on a material basis and say, okay, if we bought that in the London Metal Exchange, what would each of those things cost? Like, it's like $80 per kilowatt hour. So clearly, you just need think of clever ways to take those materials and combine them into the shape of a battery cell, and you can have batteries that are much, much cheaper than anyone realizes.
How do you think about making a decision when everyone tells you this is a crazy idea? Or where do you get the internal strength to do that?
Well, first of all, I'd say I actually think I feel fear quite strongly. So it's not as though I just have the absence of fear. I feel it quite strongly. But there are just times when something is important enough, you believe in it enough, that you do it in spite of the fear.
So speaking of important things,
like people shouldn't think people shouldn't think, well, I feel fear about this and therefore I shouldn't do it. It's normal to feel fear. Like you'd have to do something mentally wrong if you shouldn't feel fear.
So you just feel it and let the importance of it drive you to do it anyway?
Yeah, actually something that can be helpful is fatalism to some degree. If you just accept the probabilities, then that diminishes fear. When starting SpaceX, I thought the odds of success were less than 10%. And I just accepted that actually probably I would just lose everything. But that maybe we would make some progress. If we could just move the ball forward, even if we died, maybe some other company could pick up the baton and keep moving it forward, so that would still do some good. Same with Tesla. I thought the odds of a car company succeeding were extremely low.